Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is exciting because this is part of my ongoing anthology series, campaign in a way of Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is where I take various indie and small press tabletop role-playing games, remix, hack, or just say this is set in Star Wars. Earlier this year, several of the people that you see and we played games, and they've helped me along the way. And around the May the 5th or May the 4th be with you minicon that we held, I hit my 100th RPG played set in Star Wars. None of which are official Star Wars RPGs. Crazy. So now I'm like doing quarterlies, friends, and this is the beginning of one of them. We are playing a game called Apocalypse World, which is a huge influence on me as a gamer. I'm going to show you the second edition, but we're not actually playing the second edition. There is no physical version of what we are playing. We are playing a hack of that made by the original authors, Vincent and McGay Baker, called Apocalypse World, not Apocalypse World, Apocalypse World Burned Over. This is an iteration of Apocalypse World that Vincent and McGay created while playing with their kids. Several of their kids are late teens to maybe early adults, some might say. And they call themselves the Baker House Band, which amuses me. The Baker House Band drifted quite a bit of the core Apocalypse World rules into this burned over iteration. Now, I am running a version that I thought was the latest and greatest, but I might be wrong because when I look on itch and drive through, the older XP system is still appears to be in place, but I hate it. So we're not going to do that. I literally hate it. It is the fiddliest fucking thing and doesn't benefit anybody. Sorry for my French. I just feel that passionately about it. So we are using a slightly more streamlined XP system, similar in concept to that. If you don't know anything what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. I'll explain the rules as we play. This is a Power by the Apocalypse game. It is the Grandpappy. The first was Apocalypse World, which came back in like 2004, I think, and started the whole PBTA movement, if you can call anything in tabletop RPGs a movement in comparison to anything that is actually popular with humanity. I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. We are setting this. Okay, this gets a little, but I'm going to take a sip. Star Wars friends, we're setting it on Jakku, but not on Jakku from Force Awakens, but Jakku right after Battle of Jakku. Battle of Jakku being time when the Empire made its last stand, the New Republic, the Alliance to Restore the Republic, defeated them, and Jakku, which was this desert wasteland, was littered with the great, it became the graveyard of giants, where you, if you've seen Force Awakens would have seemed like there was an entire frickin' Star Destroyer crashed on part of the, and also an AT-AT, which Ray lived in. But I didn't want to like mess around with Ray. Also, I didn't want to go that far into the future. So it's more end of the Empire time frame. Uh, the last Imperial remnants, but not really the last Imperial remnants, but huge fight, and Jakku is now has undergone an apocalypse in that the world has forever changed for Jakku. It was the ass end of nowhere, and now it is a place where there are millions upon millions of potential scavenging at stake. So very boomtown, very gold rush, very black oil, Texas tea, boomtowns cropping up overnight kind of thing. I am using some of the Jakku info from Wikipedia, along with some stuff from a few of the comics, but all of that's 30 years later. So this is like the prequel to that. And also, and this is, I want to make this clear to our fellow players, I am not beholden to setting up things so that they will occur as the movie says. This is our own canon. If for whatever reason, um, Unkar Plutt, the very voluminous person who gave certain portions to Ray, gets shot in the head, Unkar Plutt is shot in the head. So be it. Will I set up situations to violate the canon? Probably not. If you, as honorary piece players with your PCs, decide to mess with canon, then it is our own canon, and let's say, okay, we don't have to pay billions of dollars to Lucasfilm to buy Lucasfilm and declare anything Legends at all. We just say it happened. It's fine. So there's my humongous preamble. I will remind our viewers and the players that we do have safety tools in place. Safety tools don't technically keep you safe, but they are there as a communication tool between all of us to talk about what kind of stories we're interested in and what we're less than interested in. Apocalypse World Burned Over is generally a PG-13 type of a venue of a RPG engine. That's generally the expectation that I have set and have seen set in other games of it. We have lines, we have veils, and we have ask first lines. Line this do not cross, not interested in it. We have lines, for example, we have lines against sexual assault or violence. That is not going to happen. Um, just doesn't. We have veils on consensual sex. So if two characters are going to hook up, then so be it. We fade to black, or we might do a Lucas style screen wipe onto some other scene, and they have their intimate moment. We may come back and ask questions after the fact, like, "Hey, how did that change your relationship?" or etc. We may not. Ask first is this could be dicey. Please ask out loud before introducing it into the fiction, um, such as interpersonal or domestic violence. That is a thing that if you think like it's generally acute of me as the MC, right? I've got all the NPCs over here, and I might say, "Hey, what if these two were in a squabble of some kind that may have turned violent?" I'll check in with the group. If any one person says, "Can you try it a different way?" I certainly will. No problems. So, that is my spiel. I would like to get to know our play group. So we're playing for 3 months, and a few people, because adults in summertime, we have some schedules shaken up, meaning that the four players here are not the four players we'll have for the entire of the set. These are the four players we have today. So I'm going to start alphabetically, which means I'm starting from the left-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the right. If you could just introduce yourself, and then we're going to snake order. So the last person introduces themselves, they then will pause and introduce their character, and we'll go back down the line. And once everyone has introduced characters, we'll work through what's called HX, which is history or connections between the characters. So, Andesh, if you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you like about Star Wars? Why are you here?
Yeah, I'm Anders, he, him. What do I like about Star Wars? I've been, well, Star Wars fan since I was a kid. I think the first time I watched New Hope was when it was on Swedish television. So a couple of years after it was in theaters, I believe. Um, and I didn't have any Star Wars toys when I was a kid. One of my friends had a lot of the action figures, so we used to play with those. But now I have a ton of spaceships and Star Wars Lego, and I'm catching up.
Exactly. Making up for lost time. Yes,
Yay!
that's right. Fantastic. Thank you, Andish. Brandon, welcome. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I was a software developer for a long time, but I'm also a writer. I've written a novel and plays, and I'm the creator of a comedy show here in Chicago called Starship Etzel, which is the worst ship in Starfleet. I love Star Wars because of its humanity and its adaptability to tell personal stories in a variety of of difficult settings. That's why I like it.
I am now patting myself on the back for setting up where people tell them I did not. I played with Brandon number of sessions. Did not know playwright, author. It's very cool. Chicago. I'm very excited. Thank you, Brandon. Now I'm like dying to know more about your play, but that's not why we're here today. I will ask you later.
Sure.
Kay, if you could introduce yourself, tell us a little. I know we little less of the Star Wars, and that's a-okay. You're still our special guest.
Yeah, I am Kay. I use she and they pronouns. My favorite thing about Star Wars is Rich's games about Star Wars. I also like the dark side, or the whole like conundrum of like come to the dark side. We have cookies. That was a huge thing in my youth. So, vibe with that. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know how to follow Brandon. Brandon was super cool, and I'm just not that cool.
Me either. It's okay. Okay, we'll be down here the like regular ass folks that just a playwright. That's so cool. Awesome. Thank you, Kay. You are more than welcome. Stephen, if you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about why you're here. What's your what's your like two Legos sticking together interaction with Star Wars or something?
So my name is Steven, my pronouns are he, him, and I've loved Star Wars for a long time. And for a long time, I looked for a local Star Wars game that I could play and just couldn't find it. And I traveled to gaming conventions all over the country and, would get to play Star Wars there, and I complained about it. And now, luckily, I get to play Star Wars online, which is great. And I've been really enjoying it. So I've been playing in Star Wars Saturdays for a while.
You're always a delight when you do, Stephen. I love it when I see your name pop onto the RSVP list. We are running this for Open Hearth, or as part of Open Hearth, which is an online community where we play games like this all the time. You should check it out. It's a wonderful community of open, interesting, and creative gamers. Stephen, if you could, please introduce us to your character in the playbook that you've chosen.
So I am playing the proprietor. His name is Maz Vandrix, Maz, and Maz is a basilisk. Those are the big four-armed guys that like we saw in, I think it was Attack of the Clones, that have like he has a little greasy diner kind of place. I'm running a food truck, and my food truck um is, has a lot of different information about it that I'll go through here in a second. The name of the food truck is the Crates Line. Not Crate and Barrel, but Crates Line. Let's see. I'm pretty cool, not very weird. Uh, I've got some jingle, but a lot of it's spent, paying off debts and making sure that the food and the drink flow easily from the truck. It's a little think of the little Jabba sail barges that you see in like Return of the Jedi or something like that. It looks like something like that. I might eventually get a picture or something. So he is gregarious and practical, putting together some important tasks or skills that he's learned over the years before um before Jakku and the big battle that happened here. He was a bouncer at a bar. Um, and whenever everything happened, he ended up on the good side of it. I think that bar was destroyed and everyone kind of scrambled to figure out what they were going to do. And I think it was very friendly to the Empire, which is one of the reasons that it kind of that helped it fall. And he was able to cobble enough employees and enough friends and that kind of stuff to get this truck off the ground. And he's been making a go of it. Let's see, let's talk about the venue a little bit because there's a lot of questions about the venue. So my venue trades in cheap food, drinks, contraband, and information. It moves all the time, but everybody knows where it is. There's a lot of bustle. The atmosphere is bustle and intrigue, noise, spice, and violence. Every once in a while, fights break out and we have to shove them off the truck, and maybe they come back the next day, maybe they don't. Um, one of the choices I have is about security. I have no fixed location, so I'm always at a new place, and I have a convenient slug thrower that's under the bar. I have a surplus of barter and gossip and news, and I have once of disaster, drama, and a hostile move. I added on an extra one. And then Rich, the prescient person that he is, outlined a bunch of NPCs, which I have now stolen for employees and regulars at the food truck. And we can go over that as these NPCs get introduced or anything like that, because I've been talking for a while.
Good stuff. Just to point out in chat, I believe it is called a sand skiff. It is a thing that Luke and Han were carried out to the Sarlacc pit upon, and you've converted it. Question I had about Maz. Are you imagining that Maz travels between the various boomtowns, Crater Town, Blowback Town, Nema Outpost, and serves food there? Or is Maz the kind that goes out to various scavenging opportunities, like a food truck might go to a construction where they're building a building kind of thing? What do you think? And it could be a variety, but what do you think when we start off is the general route for
Yeah.
Maz?
For Moz, there isn't a general route. It is wherever the best food is, or I'm sorry, wherever the best scavenge is coming from or information is coming from. So he's going to, keep an ear to the ground, find out where there's good scavenge, and of course go there to sell food and drink, and maybe pick up some scavenge himself to then take it to the next place that might be a good place. So in answer to your question, I think it's more of the latter, where, it's sort of going out to the different construction places. I'm afraid if I go to, the official towns, well, those might start, imposing rules and making me do things that I don't want to do. Yeah.
Interesting. And then last question, for now. Where does Maz get most of the food that he serves?
Yeah.
And if you want to answer that in play, I'm okay with it, but I am curious. Does he have a supplier? Is it a catch as catch can? Does he have somebody who goes out and hunts for it and then he cooks it up?
Could be the Bandaras.
Yep.
Could
So,
be the Bandaras.
these are some of the employees and regulars. On the NPC tab, there's Baba Joe, who's the guy all hunched over, I believe.
I love the Baba
Baba
Joe.
Joe is an unreliable employee whose job it is to get fresh supplies, but I keep them around because they have the best sources for spice on the planet.
Oh, that's awesome.
I also have a regular patron who was a Jawa named Naktik, who likes to make deals and cuts me in. So that's kind of how the information comes, and that's also where I get my food from. So, like I said, the food is what was the word? Cheap. The food is cheap, and there's cheap drinks, and that's because maybe Papa Joe doesn't deliver on time all the time, but it's available, and there's good info here too.
Love it. That's great. Fantastic. We will learn more as we play. Next up, Kay. Oh, last question. I don't see where you had checked a starting move for.
Oh, I haven't. I'm still working on that.
Check. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kay, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so I will be playing Raro Variasan, the volatile, he, they pronouns. He is a hot and hair trigger Cathar. As to be expected from his playbook, he's high aggro and not the weirdest. He is or was in his youth part of a sort of reared Imperial squadron, and that once shit hit the fan on Jakku, he decided to get out of Dodge instead of die. And now kind of just makes his way relying on what he's always known, which is violence. Be that his claws, his teeth, the sniper rifle he took with him when he fled, you know, many an option there. He's able to hold his own. So when you do battle against a gang, you count as a small gang yourself. One man fucking army. And he's got a real dangerous presence that impacts those around him. And yeah, he's never known a tender touch and only knows the sharp of fang and claw and violence, and is trying to make his way around Jakku and figure out how to kind of be not a weapon, but a person, but also mostly just weapon. Balance is the answer to everything, Rich. You're muted, Rich.
Thank you. Question about Raro. Is he working for someone right now?
I will leave that up to you. I think he's very much like a gig to gig kind of fella.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is ties to something specifically gross. So yeah, I think he's a gig to gig. I'm happy to like start off with him with a job if there's something you think that would fit. And yeah, I'll never say no to that, but I did not have anything specific in mind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will see what we see. Excellent. What happened to the rest of Raro's, oh gosh, what do you call a group of Cathar? A clutch?
Clutch pride.
A pride?
Mhm.
We'll call it a
Mhm.
pride. That sounds like it goeth before a fall.
I think as far as he is aware, most of them are dead because he deserted. If you want to throw someone in and oh god, they're here, they're alive, I'm totally into that. But as far as Raro thinks or knows, they died because they stayed to fight on the Imperial side during the war and during battle when shit got hairy, and Raro was like, I like living. No, thank you.
Do you imagine that Raro was and Raro's pride were stationed on the Star Destroyer that fell, or maybe a sleeker but slightly smaller ship of some kind?
I'm gonna let you make that choice because I don't have an opinion. And I feel like you know things that I don't.
Okay, that sounds great. I am going to have an opinion, and my opinion is that the ship you were on was a light cruiser, and just because this interests me a lot, it is the um, light cruiser that has become a blowback town. So it crashed here and remained mostly intact, and now there are a lot of people who live there in that place.
Yeah, Raro has no desire to live there.
Stay far, far away.
I mean, he'll go for work if he needs to or if something has to happen, but they don't have emotional attachment to the place. It's just a place.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, cat that walks by itself.
It's very cat-like. I like it. Cool. I think I have a good starting impression of Raro. Brandon, you are up. Please tell us about your character.
Hi, Darye Bandara is the youngest of the Bandara clan by 15 minutes. She is twins with Koyi, her older sister, but she certainly seems the youngest. And when you first look at her, she looks kind of innocent. And then when you interact with her for any long period of time, you realize that's absolutely not the case. She is, she is nowhere in the decision-making tree of the Bandara clan, but they seldom make a big move without asking her opinion because she knows things that nobody should know. Some people just completely ignore her. Others find her gaze so unnerving that they offer her, favors and unsolicited favors and things like that, just to make sure that they're never on her bad side. She is absolutely nonviolent, and her demeanor is kind and gentle, but there is a razor sharp mind behind that, and a calculating thing that she uses to help her clan, who are there on the make, to try to, get as much coin out of the events in Jakku as possible. She is, I picture her as the kind of person who is sitting, sipping a drink in the middle of a bar while a fight is going on all around her. Maybe she even started it by dropping a fact, from about one person that was sure to get another person angry at them. Not that she enjoys watching fights, but in this case, it was going to happen, and she'd rather it happen in a controlled fashion rather than randomly where somebody on her clan might have gotten hurt. She is frightened of things that seem perfectly normal, and she has absolutely no fear of some incredibly dangerous things that most people shy away from, which is, part of the course. And of course, underlying this entire thing, she is a force user. She has had just enough training that she doesn't have, seizures and uncontrolled force breakthroughs and things like that often. But nothing, so a little mental discipline, but nothing really more than that. The rest is just native talent that she's used to try to interpret the strange sensory impressions that she gets. And she is most to be feared when she talks very, very quietly.
Interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, a few questions.
Yeah.
The first one is broad. It sounds to me, and if I'm wrong, please tell me, the Bandara are they were not on planet when the Battle of Jakku happened. They are here as opportunists. Is that correct? Or do you think
I think that makes the most sense, but I'm perfectly willing to listen to any counter narrative.
I think that
that
makes
you
the
may
most
offer.
sense too. I'm a-okay with that. Yeah.
They realized this was a gold mine, and came and made the decision to up sticks and come to Jakku to try and make the most of the situation before it became, transformed into something that and maybe it would stay. Who knows? All these boom towns, who knows what's going to come of them?
Who knows, indeed. Recently, the Bandara clans up their grandmother. She passed.
Yes.
What did Daryi see of that? And did the others besides the grandmother believe her? Like, was it a Cassandra thing where she ended up being right even though they tried to avoid it, or did they ignore what Daryi had said and it came true?
They took it with a grain of salt. Darye foresaw her grandmother's death. And she just put it out matter-of-factly one day that this was going to happen. And a number of her clan went, you're seeing pictures again, stop it. But the grandmother took it seriously, and she made preparations for a transition so that when, as it happened, she died suddenly, the clan was not left completely flat-footed. I don't think anybody else in the clan knew that the grandmother took it seriously until her effects were gone through after her death, and they found out that she had written, that she had written a will, saying, Darye is right, I'm going to die, and this is what I need you to do.
Interesting.
And Darye was with grandmother in mind when she died. And grandmother told her some things which Darye has not said to anyone.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's really, really cool. And then the last question, because I want to explore some of this in play. Yalsa left the Bandara clan recently.
Yeah.
Was it as a result of grandmother's death, or
Yes, it was. There was the Yausa disagreed with grandmother's testament. She challenged it. She said that why is a dead hand going to decide for us the fate of our clan?
nice?
She said we should have a vote. We should have a vote the way we do, as is our custom. Grandmother is not here anymore, and we must be guided by the clan as it is now, not by her her vision. She was a fine leader, but now she is gone. And there was a lot of unhappiness about the whole thing.
Interesting. And she left and no longer considers herself part of the Bandara clan.
Argy still thinks of her as Bandara. She's sad. But yeah, the clan has formally repudiated her because she spat on the, she spat on the table, and left. And the clan closed ranks around. Sorry, I don't have his name.
Oh, it's okay. Zam or Zamseka.
Around Zamseka. For the sake of unity.
Interesting. Love it. Not at all problematic. Good choices there all.
Yeah, Daryi Daryi may be one of the few people who doesn't like put their hand on their weapon when Raro is around.
Okay.
So she looks at him with a peculiarly interested fashion that she hasn't spoken about, and Raro probably hasn't figured out.
You just want to pet him. I know. It's fine. Excellent. This is great, Brandon. I love this setup and the character. Very pregnant for interesting things. Let us move then to Andesh. You are the last to tell us of your character, and you'll be the first to choose an HX to offer up to others. So please tell us about your character.
Yeah. He's a Starbreaker, and Starbreaker is, I think, like a childhood nickname for some stupid reason that's just she's just carried with her. So it's not the cool fancy name, even if it may be seen as that by people who just encounter her now. She is the leader of a group of scavengers, and I think they're local to Jakku. Like they are from some various small towns, probably pretty far away from here, and they're young people who didn't have much of a future where they were. So when the big battle happened and people realized, oh, there's a lot of there's the possibility to make some money there, they banded together a group of them and went. So they kind of left their homes in order to seek their fortune. And she wasn't the one who organized this group, but she's like shaken out to be the leader because she can handle pressure, she can organize people, and that sort of thing. So it's not that she's like formally appointed leader or anything. That's just what happened. And they are mainly like they're scavengers. They do some other odd jobs from time to time. I pick manual labor and scavenging for what the laborers do. And they also have guardians because a lot of money will attract violent people. So they have some of them are like armed and provide protection just in case something happens. Yeah. So and she tries to keep an ear out for what's going on, what's happening. So I have the grapevine move, so I can find things out about people. Yeah, yeah, I think that's about it for the basics. You're muted again.
Man, twice? Twice? It's usually only once a session. Man, off. So Asa Starbreaker, Starbreaker, a childhood nickname that stuck. I like the grapevine. I think that'll be super interesting. Uh, what did Asa, being a local, what did Asa lose during the Battle of Jakku?
I think her town got bombarded, not or actually, let's say this. There was an Imperial base like near her town
Mm-hmm.
uh, that was bombarded. Some of the just like stray fire hit the town. I don't want to do the like, oh, she lost her entire family thing, but she lost people she knew. And I think the Imperials had probably been a problem before then, but they couldn't do much about it. So kind of mixed feelings. Like, yeah, yay, Imperials are gone, but also, boo, the other people bombed us, even if it wasn't intentional.
That's awesome. There are Imperial base ruins on our map, so we'll just say that your town, which is no longer a town, because it got bombed out of existence and everybody picked up stakes and moved.
Yeah, that's good. I think like the other people, most of the other people from the town, they went somewhere else. They didn't go to the like scavenging town because I think this would be by the locals. This would be seen like a dangerous area. There's a lot of people from off planet coming in here. There's a lot of like relatively a lot of violence. So most of the people would have gone to like their families or relatives on other parts of the planet. But
Okay.
yeah,
So there's this big diaspora after your
yeah.
small village, the people who survived. That's
Mhm.
super interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. It means I can have old villagers of yours just show up and be in
Yeah,
trouble or
absolutely.
ask you to help with things. It sounds fun. I'm into it.
And there's
Uh,
probably one or two other people from the village here who aren't part of this crew, who are just drifting around or settled somewhere.
totally makes sense. Cool. You've got some HX to offer up.
Yeah.
Um, why don't you pick one of those questions that starts on row 45?
Hmm.
And is there one you'd like to offer up?
Yeah, I think I start with the with the juiciest one. And I'm not sure if no one feels like this is right, then there will, since there are, I think there's one or two other characters coming in later,
That's
right?
true. Yeah, don't feel like you have to step up. Just someone will pick it, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to go with, have you ever stood up to me for real in front of my people?
I totally have.
Cool.
I flat out contradicted you when you said something.
And what was that?
Um, use let's see. I think you had a plan to go and feel free to embroider or change. Maybe you had a plan to go salvage a particular area.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that, and I said to you, that's a radiation leak in that area. And if you go there, your people are going to get sick and die in front of your folks.
Cool.
And there was this awful pause. And you're like, how can you possibly know that? And I shrugged my shoulders. And I don't know what you did.
Huh. I think I still wanted to go, but some of the others were hesitant enough that we sent some people to scout out the area or talk to someone who had been there recently and find out found out that that's correct. There was radiation there enough to be dangerous. So we ended up not going.
And that's probably why no one in your group tried to kill me.
That's awesome. So that will be HX +2. So it is an asynchronous relationship. Aza has +2 HX on Daryi. So we move to you now, Brandon. Do you have an HX
Yes.
question you wanted to offer up?
Are any of you actually, honestly, uncomfortable hanging out with me?
Yeah, I think I am. That's
Makes sense.
because whenever I see, I think you're bad for business, right? You come in,
Yes.
you cause trouble, and so I try to keep my eyes on you to make sure that you aren't going to get up to the same problems you've been in before.
I do like to stir the pot.
Awesome. Then that means, yeah, you've got a +3 on Moz. Woof. Okay. Kate, next up for Raro. Raro?
Have fun with it.
Dang it.
All of the above. All of the above. He doesn't care.
Got an HX question you want to offer up?
Yeah. Have you fought shoulder to shoulder with me? If not, it's okay.
That could be me, maybe. Because I think we fight off like bandits and such, and probably some local wildlife, because there's always dangerous wildlife in Star Wars from time to time.
There's a lot of wildlife on Jakku. I looked it up. It's great.
Yeah, no, that works for me. If you're into it, you don't have to if you're not into that, Anders. I can pose that to our other two instead if people are not into that one.
Yeah, I think it could fit. It doesn't feel maybe obvious. So I think maybe it's more interesting if we have a more contentious relationship from to start out.
Okay, so then do you think I'm the problem instead?
Ooh, yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so do you think I'm the problem?
Yeah, I think so, because you're clearly you're a violent person. You're not from here. Like not like you and you used to be an Imperial. That's also a strike against you, I think.
Ooh,
Uh,
that would be so. I feel like I'm gonna put this out there. I think we had a moment where you were like, you were an Imperial, and Raro rolled his eyes and he was like, I was not an Imperial. I was a tool, or I was a weapon, or something like that.
yeah.
Because he sees that very differently.
Yeah. But I think I haven't gotten past that yet. I still feel like, yeah, all Imperials are Imperials.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Cool.
Delicious. Oh, that's good. I really. I think there's a member of your crew, Aza, who has it in for Raro and is just waiting for the opportunity to take that stupid cat out.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, so then you have an HX of -2 with Aza. You'll have to hit like the single hash mark before the minus, or it'll probably disappear. It's no biggie. And now, Steven, do you have an HX question you wanted to throw up?
I only have a single HX
Yeah,
question,
you do.
and it is, are any of you not my regulars?
Well, I'm going to ask you.
I think you are a regular, so that causes me trouble.
Okay.
I think I'm not.
Okay. So if you are a regular, I get HX2 with you. No.
No, it's for the
No.
characters who aren't, right?
No, you get
Yes.
HX2 for the characters who are not.
Yes.
They
So you get
represent.
a +2 for Raro.
Yes.
And what is your default HX? Is it 0?
Let me look.
Where
Oh,
are you
that's
from?
there we go. I
Yes,
expanded
one.
it. It's +1 for the people who are people who are regulars, you get a HX +1. If they are not a regular, you get HX +2.
Yeah,
They
Raro's
represent a
like,
challenge.
yeah, Raro's like, I can hunt my own beasts. Why would I need that? Why would I ever need drugs? Not that he probably even is aware you sell that, but he's like, I can hunt my own meat. I don't need to pay for that. I have to wait to credits.
I think I am a regular. Let me check what you provided. Where did you mark what you? Oh, there. Cheap food, drinks, contraband information. Yeah, definitely. Like cheap food, drinks, and information. Probably not a lot of drugs. I try to keep my people away from that to the extent that I can. And I don't think it's a major problem with my crew, but there's probably one or two who like to hit some spice. But yeah, definitely when you are at a place and we're there working, then we're definitely showing up.
So let me ask a
But
question. Do you think that you are a regular to keep an eye on the rest of your crew?
No, I think I enjoy the place, and also since I'm interested in information, that's also a reason to go there. I think there's like a lot of people who talk come there, so.
I think, Stephen, if it makes sense, I think the Bondara clan like pays you a modest stipend to use your place, among other things, as a meeting spot to trade information and things like that.
Okay.
So it's like, in other words, so we have a table in the corner, when we want it, kind of thing.
Well, there's no
This-
table, right? It's
Well, so this is what I imagine
Oh,
of
it's
a
just a
venue,
truck.
just so you can get it in your mind. I imagine a lot of things like what you would see out of Blade Runner, where there's like the floating ships that have like pop out like little fold out tables or little seats where you can go to that just peter off, and you have all sorts of wares hanging down from the little what do you call that, a tarp over the center,
Yeah, okay, I
that
get the
kind of
picture.
thing. So I think you guys have like a regular pop out area that you go to. This corner is yours.
nice. Okay, cool. Okay. Cool,
Because
cool.
we trade every day.
The other thing I should tell you about Rich is my choice of move is called Everybody Eats Even That Guy. And whenever I want to know something about someone important, I roll and I have an additional set of questions. So that might come into play whenever somebody's there. Yeah.
That's great. I love it. Good. Let's circle back because you're done now, Stephen. So we'll circle back to Kay for Raro. What's another question you'd like to offer up?
I think honestly, given that I want to kind of, if it's okay with everyone, see what our other two players are before I figure some of that out, considering, yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I'm curious.
Although you have one HX that I'm interested in.
Ooh.
Not that you should commit it, but I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay, I don't know if you're here next week, so why don't you let me know what you're interested in, and depending on what we find
Yeah,
next
I'll
week.
just tell you. Do any of you actually honestly need protecting?
More than one person could need protecting from poor Raro.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So that's something we'll see what happens next week. But I will probably end up lobbing that to you. Unless
Cool.
someone plays some real damsel in distress character with a lot of money.
All the credits. Excellent. So then you're just gonna, for now, everyone else is HX 0. So Dari and Maz, you'll have an HX of 0. Is that right? Okay. I want to make sure I'm reading it correctly.
Yes, at least for now.
Okay. Then Brandon, did you have
Okay.
you have another.
Do any of you seem dangerous and unpredictable to me?
Yes. Hi. Hello. My name is Raro. I'm volatile.
Yes. Why should that make you seem dangerous and unpredictable? You're
Oh,
absolutely predictable.
hurt things. It's always predictable, but dangerous, definitely dangerous.
Oh, she's dangerous, but not and unpredictable. I would say that Aza is probably a lot more unpredictable.
Do you
Yeah, but I
agree?
don't think I'm dangerous.
Yeah, you're unpredictable but not dangerous. Roz is dangerous but not unpredictable. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to go with the default. I have weird insights into everyone, H+1.
Okay.
Maybe, there'll be another character that I think is both dangerous and unpredictable. But not yet.
Okay. Then let's finish up uh, with our monarch.
Yeah, so I have two questions, and the first one I don't think will fit anyone here, and that's, are you my people? I think we've established pretty clearly that no one here is part of the crew in that way.
I would like to challenge that.
Okay.
I don't think I am one of your group, but I think we share you're a scavenger crew, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely hang out with scavenger crews quite a bit. So I think we're of a type, but not of the same group.
Yeah.
I don't know if that applies in this case.
I mean, it could be interesting if, like, I think it could work if we like travel together. But I feel like I'm not sure from what you said. I think you like move to wherever the scavenge is, but that could be where we go as well, so that we tend to like go to the same place. But I feel like for this one, we would have to like have an agreement that wherever you go, we go, or wherever we go, you go, that sort of thing. Like you are actually included in what we consider our crew.
Yeah.
But I have another one, which is, do you wish you were my people? I'm not sure if that would apply to Moss, but
So maybe that's a good direction to go, which is it's not that I wish you were. I wish I was of your people so that I knew where you were going. Do you think you're a successful crew?
I think we're doing okay. It's not like we're not getting rich, but we are like making enough that people are putting some money aside, like saving up to when they can go back to their families, that sort of thing.
Perfect. Yeah, so
Cool.
I'll take
Then
that.
I will put you down for that then. That you wish you were part of my people, but you like in the sense that we discussed.
Interesting. Okay. And then Adesh, did you want to fill up? Or are you good? Are we good on?
Yeah, I think for Roro, it will be just the standard
I would
+1.
agree.
Yeah, you like people and see them clearly. I'm not sure I see you that clearly with my prejudice, but at least I think I understand a
Well,
bit about how you work.
yeah, no, yeah, you might see them clearly for what you believe they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have one. I'm just checking in. I'd see one beginning of session move. Does anyone else have a beginning of session move? I see Aza has one for devotion. Anyone else have one?
I saw something about rolling my wealth, and I don't know exactly what that
Oh,
means. Oh, that's a move.
yeah.
That's a move I did not take. I just saw it. Okay.
I don't know if this is technically a beginning of play move, more a beginning of, or a beginning of session, more a beginning of play, because it's just like when you enter a situation. So I'm like, is that just like entering a scene, or is that like?
Yeah, it's entering a scene, a situation. You're like the one where we hear like a weird whistle noise, right? And you like step onto the scene and it immediately tilts or changes the scene because you are the volatile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it's not necessarily start of the start of play, but when I get into a scene or in my first scene, I roll shit. So
that's
Yeah.
yes, but no, Rich.
great.
Yeah, when I read that move, I wasn't sure if they meant enter a situation or enter a situation.
Well, I
It's
think when
not really.
Raro enters the situation, it becomes a situation.
Yeah, he's just that good, Anders. It just
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Good question mark. I love it.
Good.
Oh, you're gonna have big impacts as long as you're around. I just hope you survive, you poor, poor thing.
There's a
He's a cat.
bag of,
He's got 9 lives.
I have a bag of popcorn.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break. I just want to walk around with these. I've had ideas bounce in my head as you guys have introduced these amazing characters and their relationships to each other. I just want to sort it out and then choose one of them randomly. So we're gonna pause. Okay. Thanks to Anish for pointing out a thing that wasn't in my keeper. I appreciate it. We have a couple of start of session things. We have live day to day. So at the beginning of every session, each character will roll barter. And on a 10 plus, you ask me what's free and what's easy. On a 7 to 9, you ask me what's easy and what's hard. And on a miss, be prepared for the worst. I will try to make note of this, but we only have half an hour. So here's what I'd like to do is I'd like to start off with, can you roll for Asa devotion, Andesh? And
Yep.
let's get the read on that one.
I get
Let's
a
start.
5.
5 is less than good, but I like it.
Yeah. On a miss, or if your followers are in crisis, all of their demand, which means my laborers want R&R and solidarity, and my guardians need discipline.
Oh man, that's nasty. Do not forget to mark the tick mark for cool because you just
Oh,
rolled
right.
cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's not a XP on a fail. It is a mark it if you roll it. Sweet. So we know that you are in some hurt, and just because this is such an abbreviated session, if you're okay, I'd like to carry that forward into our next session, so you'll still be in that effective situation.
Yeah.
Kay, if you could, I'd like to see how Raro, I'm going to say it different every time, is living day to day.
12.
12. Oh my goodness. You are doing amazingly. Sadly, double checking. Yeah, barter doesn't have an XP tick to it, but still you get the benefits of a 10 plus. You get to ask me what's free and what's easy. I think Raro is living high. You've just gotten a huge flush of barter creds. Do you imagine that you got into a fight with someone and ended up with their stuff? Or do you think that you just completed a short-term job of some kind? Maybe you offered protection to them as they swapped out a hull, or you
I like
ferried
both.
someone out. Both? Okay.
Both. Yeah, I
Ooh.
think I was on a short-term contract. Someone made a fuss about it, and I murked them and then took their stuff additionally. So I got the contract, and then I also, murked the threat and got their stuff.
Wait. Let me make sure I'm clear. Did you kill the person who hired you or a person who threatened the person who
The
hired
person
you?
who threatened the person who hired me.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that I heard you correctly. Very wise, Raro. That is definitely a 12 plus. I would imagine a 7 to 9 might be the that's good.
Murk the
That's good.
person.
It's like, yeah, then he attacked me. I mean, he didn't attack me as much as just say something that offended me. But now I have all his stuff. Cool. I like it. That is fantastic. And now, so 12 plus on our Raro is you are doing great.
So what
Bringing
is
it,
that
what
mechanically?
not a lot. It is
Okay.
one of my least favorite unsupported things in Burned Over. Um, So that might be why I didn't put it in the keeper, but I still think it's a good way to kick us off for a half hour. So
Mhm.
what it means is what like if you don't roll a fail, you're doing all right is generally
Mhm.
what it means. I'm supposed to tell you what's free and what's easy. There is no support to tell you what that means in this hack book of a game. So I guess what's free and what's easy is that There has been a recent shipment of water here, and that is what's free and what's easy right now, is people are able to not only drink their fill if they are in the Nema outpost settlement, but even folks are even able to get enough water for their Rich now needs to furiously look at that animal that he found earlier, which amuses me to no end. Is that this amount? No. So there is a big, not exactly a hippo that we
Okay.
see in Force Awakens. It is called a hapabore. Let me show you a picture of this delightful creature because it is hilarious looking.
Cute.
Yes, it is gigantic. Like imagine size of elephant, but all snout. That is the hapabore. So even the hapabores are able to get enough of their fill. Brandon, for Dari, if you could, please roll your living day to day to see what kind of situation we
Sure.
find your character in. Jeez, the dice are hot for you. Okay. Fantastic. A 15. That is as good as it gets. Wow. 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 So what's free and what's easy? You're in a really good situation. I think you've just received a large stipend of credits from none other than the Krolute known as Unkar Plut, who basically runs the Nema outpost. He delivers to you a missive written in fine hand. Are you literate?
Yes, she is.
It's written in a fine hand, written in Arabic, which is our standard Star Wars basic language. It is written by Nema the Hutt. She would like to employ you, and this, as Unkar Plut has given you like a stout case of credits. Um, they are not Imperial credits. They're not stamped with Imperial credits, which means that they spend good. They are New Republic credits, and Nema the Hutt would like to meet with you. So,
Yes.
yeah, we begin with Unkar Plut saying, "You come now, yes."
Yes, I say. I knew somebody was coming. I didn't know why. So yeah, I treat Unkar Plut like, oh, you're finally here. You're late.
Nice, nice.
I didn't know it was him, and I didn't know why he was there. I just knew somebody unexpected was coming, and so it's my
So much.
standard trick to put somebody on the back foot.
Yeah, I think he would do the slight head thing of, hmm.
You're
And then
supposed to be here yesterday.
he lumbers across the desert floor. I have thrown into our Jakku map a picture of Nema Temple. It is not far from the Nema outpost, but it looks like Unkar is like he's planning on just walking his way towards the place. We see just a brief bit of the two of you dots across the sandy landscape between the outskirts of Nema Outpost and the beginnings of Nema Temple. We never see Nema Temple in Force Awakens, so I just picked a picture that I thought was interesting. It is a large stone temple that stands against the desert sky. It has a larger like tower within it, within a area where the hut is able to receive her worshippers. And as you approach Daryi, you hear the sound of their songs that they have written and they sing to Nema. It's melodic, uh, but you realize that by the second hymn, as you approach, that they have taken popular songs that the Bondara clan have heard on other planets and changed the words to be about Nema the Hutt. they're filking.
Yeah, they're absolutely, yeah. Um,
So their hymns used to exist as other IP, but here on Jakku there are no rules about such things, so no copyright with that. And we see that there are a dozen worshippers of a variety of humanoid species here. And and Ish, I'm gonna throw this question. Do you think that Nima has like a Kowakian monkey lizard similar to what Jabba the Hutt has, or do you think that instead she has a couple of like male Twi'leks who are there as her attendants?
she
What do you
has
think?
attendants, absolutely.
Attendants?
And she has also like incense burners, a pair of them
Ooh,
to the
okay.
either
So there's like
side
a
of her
heady
grand
smoke
chair,
here. And
either
that's,
side of her grand chair, which are emitting, fragrances that Huts particularly like.
ooh, nice,
That maybe
nice.
not everybody likes, but the Huts love them.
Well, the worshippers have grown to get used to it. So
Oh
Brandon,
yeah,
hold
no,
on.
no, the worshippers are all in on them, but visitors, may
All
sometimes
right.
have different
Hang tight for
opinions.
a sec. I want to check in with Andesh. Any other aspects to the scene for Nima's opulence?
No, no,
Um,
she's
Oh,
a she's
Brandon,
all yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry. I asked Andesh.
no, okay, go ahead, please.
I think uh, I think she keeps like what do you call them? Like not quite bowls or very like flat open bowls where people leave offerings to and have them like in front of her days or whatever you would call it to show that like yeah this is how generous people are toward.
Nice, nice. So, Daryi, you are approaching, but you saw this coming. Um, how how accurate are your dreams that you receive? Are they vague visions or are
No,
they
they're frighteningly specific, but I can't necessarily put them in a time and a place until other things click in. So in other words, there'll often be little detached things, a conversation or, a vision about a spot, but I don't necessarily know where that spot is until I hear someone describe something of it. And then it goes, oh, now I know what that vision was about. So they're very accurate, but they often lack context.
gotcha?
That
So you hear a sound. It's like a bang of a small gong, and it's one of those oh, and it reverberates for a little bit, and the worshippers grow silent. The hymn dies on their tongues. That cues this memory. You are about to be asked by Nima the Hutt to be her advisor because she knows of your soothsaying and future fortune telling. Um, so that's about to happen. Nima on her little palanquin, she sucks from a giant hookah that has some things like floating in it. It bubbles a little bit. She has the incense, and then the bowls are filled with lots of very tasty food offerings, home cooked meals from the worshippers here. And she deigns to speak in basic. She has that deep, brassy voice that the Hut often have because of their huge chests. You are Daryi of the Bondara.
yes, and you are Nima the Hutt. And I have a question for you.
She lifts a brow. She's used to running conversations, and you've just taken over. This is unexpected. But as one of the guys with like a little, I'm imagining a spear that like can open up and have a blaster at the end type deal.
Yes,
He like steps forward for a second, but she just casually waves her hand,
I'm
silencing.
one of the smallest people here, and I have no visible weapons, and I'm very unthreatening. Um, why should I become your advisor?
Hmm. She looks to Unkar Plutt. Unkar Plutt raises his hands. I said nothing. I said nothing as you told.
He didn't say anything.
Why? You see the world as it will be. I will make the world as I want.
If you'll make it as you want, then what do you need of someone like me?
Some disagree with what I want.
I am pretty clear on why you would like me to work for you. What's in it for me or my people?
Your people will remain safe. You will be provided for.
As much as Dargi is presents a complete external sense of bravado and confidence on this, this is still a very intimidating audience. You know, she
He's hoping for
recognizes.
that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's hard not to be. And she takes a moment to collect herself. It's a very interesting offer. But I have my clan interests at heart, as I am sure you understand. And I can't make a decision of this magnitude without their approval. And I'm thinking, I hope this isn't where I die.
Who among the Bandara will make your decision for you?
No one's going to make my decision for me. We make decisions together. But Zamsaika is our leader. And it would be pretty bad manners too for me to offer my opinion without speaking with him.
Blood. Bring Zam to me. You will stay. She gestures to one of the worshippers who stands up and comes over. Dargi the Great, please, if you would, Nima has prepared a room for you. You should come and see. You were curious what you wanted.
Shit.
What do you do?
I'm going to try to read Nima.
Oh, awesome. When you read someone in a charged situation, roll plus sharp.
Yeah, I'm going to do him a deep brain scan.
Oh,
So I'm going to
okay.
roll plus weird.
Deep brain scan. Let's see. When you have time to study someone, you can read them more deeply than usual. Read someone, but roll plus weird. In addition to the usual questions, you can choose from these extra. So roll plus weird and mark your weird.
I have an 8.
Ooh, an 8. So with an 8 in read someone, you get to hold 2 against them. And you can spend your hold 1 for 1 to ask the MC questions. They have to answer frankly from their character's point of view. And because you use a deep brain scan, you don't have to ask those questions out loud.
So the question, one question I have is, What is your deepest secret fear?
Hmm.
This way,
Yeah, it's always a
people are
good one.
afraid of brain pickers, right?
It's true. It's true. Nima's deepest secret fear is that the New Republic shows up and takes over this whole thing because then her religion will not prosper. That is her main thing. She wants to rise in power and keep the New Republic at bay because this is a bonanza.
And how could I really get my hooks into you?
Tell her something, tell her of a threat before it comes to pass to prove that you are exactly what she wanted. And then, whether you see it or not, she will be beholden to your input.
All right, I say sweetly to the attendant. I'm happy to go with you.
Cool. And the attendant, she's wearing some like gauzy outfit. She's attractive. She's some kind of near human, and she leads you through the temple. There are a number of rooms. You actually, she's very excited. Tells you your room is on the surface. You may look out upon the Jakku sunset, and she brings you into. It's a modestly appointed room. There's a nice bed with some like curtains, see-through curtains that hang over in case there are any bugs that get in at night. You know, there's some crazy bugs that can suck a person dry. And then she slides the door closed. And as she does, she moves over to try to show you that there's a little auto chef and some water, and someone steps out from behind a curtain and shoots her with a stun blaster, and she falls to the ground. We'll cut away from you for now.
Yes, wonderful.
Raro, you have been doing gangbusters well. Are you headed to um Hmm. Let's see. Let's say that you're also a Nema outpost, because we've got some cool stuff going on there. Nema Outpost, which is nearby where Nema Temple is. It's a collection of dusty tents, rickety shacks, and salvaged landing bays operated by Unkar Plutt. But Unkar Plutt has shut his shack down for some reason this balmy afternoon. You are flush with credits. What is the thing that Raro does when he is rolling? If he ever has been. If you ever had this many credits that are yours?
No, I think he's had times where he's had lots of credits, but they've needed to immediately go to something. So he's never been able to actually hold on to it before and have like that free use, like something needed to be fixed or something needed to be updated or, XYZ. He had to pay up, so this is the first time I think he's ever had a flush of credits that didn't immediately have an earmark for something. And I think he's lounging on a really big rock, just soaking in the sun, because it's like a very hot, warm day, as he's trying to figure out what individuals do with credits when they don't immediately need it to fix their sniper or a chink in their armor or take care of that one wound that I mostly took care of, but probably could use a doctor.
Nice. I imagine being cat-like that you hear Flix, the Thelan human hybrid you can see on um, the some scavengers section of the
Yeah.
NPCs. You could hear Plix making her way towards you before she realizes that you hear her coming. She's
Yeah,
not
and
sneaking, she's just walking, but then she slows down a little bit as she gets closer to you. What do you do?
I think do Cathar have tails?
You tell me.
I think he does. I like that.
Nice.
So I think,
The ones that we may have seen that don't have tails, they're bobbed. Do Cathar
yeah,
have tails now?
yeah, they have tails now. And so I think his tail kind of like swishes a little playfully between his legs. Like, cause he's laying back, so he's not like sitting, he's straight up laying. And I think the tail twitches a bit playfully as he recognizes who it is. He knows this is no one he has to worry about, or really think about too hard. It's just a cub. I mean, and I think he like does that very cat stretch thing where he leans forward on he like turns around so he's on his belly, leans forward on his arms and like stretches the back of his back out, like leans up the legs, and then like lazily will roll his eyes open to look at Plix.
Narrator voice. This is the moment that many years from now, Plix will regale to others as when she realized she was attracted to Cathar. And she just stops when you do that. Just to be clear for the picture, she has a cybernetic left eye replacement. It is very obvious as not a regular eye. And she has at some point lost her left hand just above the elbow and has a cybernetic replacement there that only has effectively 3 fingers. She pauses like she was going to say something and has forgotten.
If you've interrupted my nap, speak, or I'm going back.
Yes, I got an opportunity for you, Raro. It's very easy. You don't have to do anything other than be present.
Hmm. Go on.
She reaches slowly, and opens up the flap and pulls out some mechanical gauze of some kind. You recognize one of them as a power source, like a power coupling from an Imperial ship. I got hold of some really good stuff, and Unkar isn't around, so I'm gonna trade it. But look at me. They're not gonna give me much. You roll in with me, I'll give you a third of what I get in barter, and I'll get a better price.
Half.
What?
Half.
But you don't I just say you don't have to do anything. She puts the things back in her bag. You just have
You
to
will
stand
only
there.
get
I
a
did
third.
all of the work to get this. And
You'll
is this
only
my
get a third of the price if I don't go. This way, you get half if I go.
That sounds amazing. I think I would like to see you charm her.
Yes. Okay. So that is a plus un. A 7.
A 7 on charm or deceive someone on a 7 to 9. They can either, if they don't want to go along with you or call you out, they can choose to ask you for evidence, time, a compromise, or some concrete assurance. And if you agree to that, then they have to go along. She'll say, if you're going for half, then can you help push for more to make sure that my half is worth all of this effort,
Sure.
please?
And he thinks for a moment, like, and she does this thing where like his hand kind of curls in and out and the claws kind of flip in and out. As long as I don't have to speak to make it happen.
Okay. And then she will skip because she's excited about this over towards the area where Duchess Saldcados resides.
And
Um,
Pharaoh will get up and follow her, kind of like almost like a moseying behind her.
mhm.
Because this is something to do, and now he doesn't have to think about how he should spend his credits, not realizing that maybe having just a hoard of credits on your side is not a great idea, but why would he even consider that?
Moz, please take a look on our Nima Outpost set of NPCs. Near the top is Duchess Saldacados. Um, why, in Maz's opinion, which is obviously right, is it a terrible idea to make a deal with Duchess Saldacados?
So the Duchess has a reputation for always ending up on the right side of things. But that also means that the people that she deals with um do not. So you might get exactly what was spelled out in the deal, but you might get that from prison. Or you might get paid, but it might be worthless junk to you. She usually has she usually has the drop on people.
And then, Andesh, if you could take a look down, starting around row 43, there are two characters, Iveth and Jakera. Um, of those two, who are siblings, who is more dangerous, Iveth or Jakera? And why?
Um, I think I think Jakera is the less dangerous because she's obviously dangerous. Iveth is more calculating and doesn't seem quite as she's not as aggressive and not as obviously volatile.
And then, Kate, ask a question for Raro. Who uh who has had a scrap with Raro? Iveth or Jakera? They survived, obviously. Which maybe
Hmm.
says a little bit about them.
I think Jakera. And I think Raro now has like a grudging respect and an enjoyment of them because of it. They
In
eat,
the
oh,
NPC picture, it looks like there's scratches on Jakara. Is that how she got those?
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think they both bear each other's marks now. I think like on the end of spine slash kind of where Rara's tail kind of starts, there's a burn where the fur is lesser and it's just the barrel of a gun.
Dang, that's rough. That's harsh. Sweet. And then Brandon, if you could, uh, where is it that Duchess like holds court does business? I think it's a thing that Duchess arrived on planet on. So is it a shuttle or is it just something that's been converted, like an escape pod that's been converted into their little private quarters here in Nima Outpost? What do you think?
Um, the Nîmes Outpost is the one with the crashed like cruiser.
No,
No, no. Oh,
blowback
Nîmes
is
Outpost. No, that's blowback. Okay. No, I think she had a yacht.
ooh,
Um,
neat, 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 neat.
she had a personal, small, fast personal spacecraft. Um, and it's been deployed there, and it's kind of, accreted out buildings because she's been using it as a permanent base of operations. It's theoretically still, space worthy. She could pack up everything and lift.
Nice.
Um,
I love that. That's awesome. She's just here until it's not worth being here, and then she's going to pack up and go. Love it.
no, no, I mean, it's like it's just she could, whether she will.
If she wanted to. Exactly.
Yes.
Love it. Cool. So, as I said, we're not going to get a full much of anything. That is our taste because I want to carve we're like right near the end. I want to do our end of session stuff. Not all of it is going to make sense because of where we had to end things. But at the end of every session, you can choose a character who knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, choose one at your whim. You tell that player to add +1 to their HX with you on their sheet. Um, I know that we didn't get to see Maz or Aza in at all, you can just, again, choose on your whim. Or if you don't think that anyone got to know you better, or then you choose someone who doesn't know you as well as they thought, and they will take -1 to their HX with you on their sheet. So let's start with our two players who, unfortunately, we didn't see their characters in action. So Ava, do you want to give a +1 HX with someone to Asa, or do you feel that you'd like to give a -1 to someone?
I kind of feel like with the chaos going on with my group, I think Moz knows me better because he's going to hear stuff from
Oh, for sure.
my people.
Cool. So Moz, you will look at the HX that you have for Asa. Crap.
Brandon drop.
We
Oh,
lost Brandon.
oh, I didn't know. Maybe Brandon had a hard stop. I feel bad. Okay. I wish I'd known that. Anyway, so you will add one to Asa.
Awesome.
So Kate, what about Rero?
Excuse me, yawning right on cue.
Oh, I caught you. I caught you yawning.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you caught me yawning. I think I'm gonna take one away from Dari. I think Dari thinks Dari knows a lot. Dari doesn't necessarily know Rero.
Okay. So you would go from a 1 to a 0. Brandon, what about Daryi? You, of course, are prescient in every way. So who would you like to give +1 HX to, or take one away from?
I think I'm going to give a +1 to Asa because she has trouble coming that I know about. I haven't had a chance to tell her.
Nice. Cool. And then let's see, Moz.
So I have a question about an NPC. Have we established anything about Yalsa, the Twi'lek from the Bandara clan?
We have established that she left the Bandara clan after the grandmother died, and there was a changeover of hands of
Yeah,
who
she
would
was
run things.
she was a contender for the succession.
Great, but
and
she is not the twin that you were discussing.
No,
I just wanted to make sure I had names straight.
the twin is Koyi, the one with a very similar name.
Okay, so in that case, I think I'm going to say that Daryi knows me less because Yalsa is a starstruck employee of mine whose job it is to take over the crate whenever I'm gone.
Man, she's really moved up in the world. That's amazing.
It's a
I
food
love it.
truck.
Bandaras land on their feet,
Exactly. The Mondar way. Cool. Then, Stephen, I'll stick with you, and then we're going to go from right to left. You, end of every session, we do the HX thing. At the end of every session, judge for yourself. Are you satisfied with your place in the world? If you're not, take 1 XP. That's a full XP, not one of the tick marks that work with stats.
Right. I am. I think I'm fine.
Yeah, I think Rero's pretty, living the dream life right now.
Okay. What about Daryi? Are you satisfied with your place in the world being someone's kept psychic?
Oh, Darya is hoping to do a complete judo move on Nima and have her dependent on the Bandaras for everything.
Okay, so are you satisfied?
Yes.
Wow.
I am riding a 25-foot wave on a tiny surfboard.
And then
this is exciting and
it's true.
Unpredictable.
Anesh, what about for Asa? Are you satisfied with your place in the world?
No, not with all this chaos going on with the crew.
All right, mark an improvement or one of the large XPs there. And then I have a question. I'll circle back around and we'll do a quick round of stars and wishes for anybody can stick around. If somebody needs to go, totally cool. So your scavenge right now for Asa is you're devoted to your people and share their good times and bad. You don't hold yourself above or apart from them. Does that still feel true?
Yeah.
Cool. Then for Daryi, when your resources run thin, you're more than willing to use your psychic abilities to exploit and extort people. Still hold true?
Plan first. You know, I haven't seen any reason to, to not put clan before everybody else.
All
Yeah.
right. And then Kay, for Raro, do you still feel that your scavenge holds true?
Yes.
And then last, Maz, is your scavenge still true?
Yes.
Cool. All right. That is all the mechanics of our very abbreviated session. I apologize we didn't get to more, but we set up a couple of interesting things. So I promise we will lead off with Andesh and Stephen at the beginning of next week's session. So quick round. I know not much happened, but a quick round of stars. So who's got stars?
I love the set of characters. They're all so different, but they're all focused, and the setting wonderfully focuses the divergent interests of people into crisscrossing narratives, which I think is great.
Yay!
And I was very pleased to hear you describe it as Western.
I hate westerns. I love this idea, and I think you guys are doing a great job of making characters that absolutely would be here in this vibrant setting we're creating. Any other stars? I know there wasn't much, so we can quickly move to wishes, unless I'll pause.
I think we had a really good discussion when we were picking playbooks, just to land on who pick which one. With not drawing it out too much, but still hearing everyone out and letting everyone do their pitches. I think that was really.
I'll add a star, which is, so there was more to this that, character creation than I thought there would be. And as I dug through, I want to say I really appreciate all the NPCs that you had up. I've added a lot of text to them, from my playbook to describe kind of what their situation is for me. So yes, thank you.
Yes, and I appreciate those texts. I may end up creating another set of NPCs so I can know this is all the people in Maz's group, and probably do another thing for Aza and her group as we play. I mean, not
So
probably. I'm definitely going to do that.
yeah, Asa, do you also have a crew to flesh out?
Not in the way that you do. I just
Okay.
have these groups. There's no, or there's nothing in the playbook that requires me to specify them, unless I miss them.
Cool, thank you.
Sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a couple stars out there if we have that's okay. First of all, stars for people not being afraid to be like, this is who I want, or I don't know, for like their HXs. Sometimes I find that can be like hard. The most comparable thing I have for that is like when the Monster Hearts sort of strings kind of happen in the beginning in the backgrounds. So kudos to everyone for feeling comfortable enough to like speak their mind and do what they felt like directed best for their characters. I think that's a wonderful saying about a group, that they're comfortable enough to not just sort of yes and in that sense, but to also be like, no, but really appreciated that. I will also second starring for all these NPCs. I am very interested in this. I am also completely in, like, you just have a lot of fun NPCs, and some of them I'm very excited to have already met, and some I will poke you if they don't pop up because you have given me interesting pictures, and now I need to know who these people are. Star to Dari just being a cute little ball buster. Love that. I'm so stoked to see you run a food truck, Steven. I know you and I are both foodie people, and especially after our adorable little Ewok and his foodie obsession. I am excited for that through line here and to see what you bring to that, and also to introduce my character to drugs. That'll be fun. And then Enders, we didn't get to do much with that, but I'm really excited. I love having a contentious relationship off the bat with someone, especially considering I've made quite a non-fluzzy foofy character. So I am excited to fuck shit up and get dirty with Asa and see where that leads them to in relationship wise.
I'll sneak in a star. The determination that the Countess lives on a small yacht now means that I am going to move Evron and Tosti to that yacht because that seems like a great place for Evron and Tosti to hang out. So that is the Chiss, and the Chiss is Lothcat.
Oh, look, it's the one that I was like, if you don't bring them in, I will scream. And you've
And
already
that
picked them.
I have to bring them in because maybe you'll even run into them in this very next session. Cool. Lots of great stars. Are there any wishes out there? I'll just open it up. I know we saw very little of the game, but any wishes?
I wish for people to have, uh, non hurtful inconveniences that let me get into more games.
Well,
Just schedules that are full of other wonderful things that they
well,
have to
so
attend
on
to.
that note, I'm going to grant your wishes. I mentioned, and so kind of is Steven. We both can't make the August 2nd game because we will be at Gen Con. Or at least I know I won't. Maybe
Oh.
Steven will, but
Well, I'm not going to Gen Con, so that sounds fine. That's a-okay. Cool.
oh, my wish was Evron and Toasty, which you kind of already did.
Yay!
I like them, and then I've now made I have now found that I like my interesting relationship with, I'm gonna butcher this, Jakara.
Those are all fine. It's just like
Okay.
Raro.
It's just like Raro, we both. But yeah, now that I have this information with him, I'm excited to explore that relationship with that NPC.
Cool. Excellent assignment. If you could, real quick, Kay, since you've developed that relationship, can you determine their pronouns for me?
Any all.
Okay, there we go. Sweet. Any Steven and Ash, you guys good? We'll just figure it out and play, or
So I do. So again, like I said, there was a lot to this, and I realized I do have a wealth move. It's one that comes with the playbook. I just hadn't checked the box, and that is a beginning of session.
okay.
So
Wealth
that's
move.
just yep. There's just a little bit of weirdness to it, and yeah. So I gave myself a note to remember to roll it.
Cool, and we'll stick it in your moves so that we don't forget it again. By we, I mean me.
You had already done that, by the way.
Oh, okay, good.
I just went to select, start with one move, and I selected one move and didn't realize, oh, I automatically get these two. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right. Thank you all so much. Oh,
Before we have a question, I apologize. Just trying to understand the system a little.
Uh-huh.
So we roll that at the start of every game, that live in that life move, right?
Yeah, although
Or
we
like,
had such a little amount
well,
that
yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, because because right now in the way, like, I've been, I guess, setting up this scene and where he is and why he took the job he does is because he has the 12. But
Yep.
if in rolled a 6 to start, it would be like a weird
That would be weird as hell. Yeah, we're not doing
yeah, so
that.
I just wanted to, okay, cool. Just
We're
wanted to
good.
check.
We're good. Yeah, you and I, same page on that one, 100%.
I
Yeah.
read somewhere that the reason that all this barter stuff is in a lot of the Apocalypse World games is just to push the idea of debt and
Scarcity. Yeah.
scarcity. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. I will stop the recording here. Thank you all so much.